How's it going there, guys? My name is Antonio. I have a really big box here and I'm going to show you what's inside it. And I think it's probably the closest I've come to the best photography, camera gear, traveling setup that I can possibly come up with, at least for the next 9 days. To start with, this is the Nanuk 935. This is not sponsored or anything, and nothing in this video is sponsored, except for the main sponsor of the video, which is Aftershoot. I'm going to talk more about them later. But in terms of all of the gear and the box and everything inside this box, it is all my own stuff. No brand is paying to be in this box or this box. Anyway, let's get into it. All right, so I'm going to open this up. I do like how with this case, you can open it up totally silently, which is quite cool. So if you're needing to sneakily get something out during a wedding reception, you're not going to disrupt anyone who might be attending. Now, we're going to start from left to right, just because I guess that's the easy way of doing it. Over on the left, I've got the Nikon Z8 camera body number 1, the main camera body with the 85mm f1.2. This is a little bit on the big side. It's a big camera body and it's a big lens, but it is definitely worth it because the images you get from this thing is insane. I actually keep my memory cards in my cameras when I'm moving them around in between locations, just because it's easy. I don't have like a hub of memory cards that I go throughout the day. I actually use quite large memory cards. So this one's a 512. I don't usually use more than about 150 gigabytes usually for most wedding days and events and couples. Next thing is my secondary body. This is the Nikon Z6 Z6 III. It used to be a Z6 II, but it's now a Z6 III. This has got the small rig cage on it. This one, by the way, the Z8 has the tilter cage on it. Doesn't really matter which one you use on each. I kind of prefer the tilter one a little bit. Fits a little bit better with the tripod I use most of the time. Next up, we've got this lens. This is the 24-70. This actually lives on the Z6 III whenever I'm using it, just because it's easy, does everything. You can't go wrong with this lens. It pretty much does everything fairly well, I would say. I can swap this out for another lens, like a 35 1.4 or 35 1.2 if I want to go 35 85. And I can even swap it out for something like a 105 lens if I wanted to get something that was a little bit more zoomed in and do 85 105, but I don't think I've actually done that yet. Now down here I've got the DJI Microphones. I usually do hybrid photo and video for my couples. I rarely just do photo. So this is probably the best microphone set that I've found for that. Everybody knows about these microphones. I do also have the Rode microphones as well, but I find that they're just a bit too big and chunky and you can't sneak them into as many places as you can with the little DJI mics. I have used the mic minis. I do own the mic minis. I just don't think they're as good because you don't get that 32-bit float recording. Now, obviously this has all of the accessories and stuff in there. I don't usually use too much other than just the cable to connect it to my camera. And I usually just record internally straight to the microphones as well. Now, before I talk about what's over here, in this top section on the left, I have the Insta360 X5. This does all my behind the scenes and things like that. This is probably the most useful, versatile behind the scenes camera you can get. I had the Insta360 X3 for ages. This is just an upgraded version of that because of the replaceable lenses and things like that. I always keep 2 memory cards, one CF Express and one SD, just in case I forget to bring them, which I've never done, but you never know. In the top, I also keep all of my cables and card readers, and I actually transfer all of my footage and photos and stuff like that to my computers, which lives in this top section just in here. And that actually gets processed while I'm driving home. And this might be a great time to actually tell you about Aftershoot. All right, so a quick break for me to tell you about something that actually saves me hours. And yes, I know this is a sponsored segment, but like, it's the truth. Aftershoot uses AI to cull your images, and it's actually good. Like, it finds the duplicates, it finds the weird ones, the out of focus ones, the in focus ones. And something I really like is, especially for group shots, it will actually show you a close-up of everybody's face who appears in the photo, so you can really quickly tab between the photos to see who's got their eyes open and who's got their eyes closed. Now, what I've recently started doing is I actually back up my photos on site as soon as I finish the wedding before I get in the car, and I set Aftershoot to actually cull my images for me while I'm driving home. So as soon as I get home, I've got a batch of culled images ready to edit, and then I can send sneak peeks out the next day super easily. And it also helps you with editing as well. It's actually scary how close it edits the photos to how you would do it yourself. And this is one of the most important features, I think. You can teach Aftershoot your editing style. You upload your Lightroom catalogs to it and it learns exactly how you would edit in a bunch of different situations. So you can create your own AI profile that it will then analyze your images with. And it doesn't just apply a blanket preset over everything. It actually does different slider adjustments to every single photo, which I think is really unique. And before you say, oh, well, then you're not editing the photo anymore. Well, I mean, it's doing the same thing that you were going to do to the photos anyway. So I don't see why you wouldn't just let it do it. Now, I know some of you are still going to be skeptical about this, so you can try it for free. Yes, you can try it. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. Download it. The link is in the bio. If you do like it, there's a discount code if you want to go ahead with it. I would highly recommend it. I have used it on every single shoot that I have done in the last 2 years. All right, let's get back into it. All right, so now you know about Aftershoot. I actually use that all the time. It's so good. Now, in the next section up the top is where I keep all of my spare batteries and things like that for flashes and cameras. All of my cameras use the same batteries, except the film camera, which I'm going to talk about next, or at least I'll talk about this camera after this bottom section here, which has some cleaning stuff. I've got my little cleaning solution. I've got what else have I got in here? I love these pliers or grippy tools. What are they technically pliers? I don't know, but these are great. They're good for tightening up things on rigs. Quite often you'll have something in a video or a photo rig and you can't quite get enough hand strength to tighten it. So you'll use these, you'll use something to try and tighten it. And I find these are a really good solution to that. Obviously, microfiber cloth, easy. Now back down to this section. This here, film camera, can be swapped out for anything else. So this is a Nikon F3. I've got a whole video on this camera. Usually I'll shoot Portra 400 or 800 in this, sometimes Ultramax if I'm feeling different, but usually I'll use those two other film stocks. And the other thing I really like about this setup is you can swap it out. So this is for hybrid photo and video, which I do the most often out of all of my services that I offer for couples and events and things like that. Now, you don't have to do video at all. You can take out this microphone kit and you can even take this out as well and just have like another 2 lenses in here if you wanted more lens options. But I like to keep my microphones and also an ND filter kit in here. This is the Nissi ND filter kit. This thing is really cool. I've got usually 82 and 62mm filters in here because that's what I use the most often. Other than that, I might use a CPL filter that's in here for some photos on one of these 2 lenses, but not usually that often unless, I don't know, unless I'm feeling fancy. And then I've also got a flash down here too. So again, if you're not doing, by the way, this is the V100, really cool flash touchscreen. I've got a whole video on that as well if you want to go and check that out. This uses the same batteries as all of the other flashes, and I do keep spare batteries for this in here. This is also, by the way, carry-on compliant. So everything in here, I mean, maybe if I can pretend it's a bit lighter than it really is, I can get it into carry-on because it is a bit heavy once you fully load it up. But if you're doing, say, no photos and you're just doing video, if you wanted to, you could actually swap out this flash, stick in your ND filter kit, take this camera out because you're not going to use a film camera if you're doing video. You can probably keep these other cameras in here, keep these microphones in here. And now you can start loading in some video gear. So you can probably stick in things like an audio recorder. That's a Zoom F3 there. You can probably get it more compact on the side like that. Maybe stick in some monitor batteries. You can also probably stick in maybe a shotgun microphone somewhere, maybe a Ninja, monitor cables, things like that. Let's see if we can find a better way to do that. Hang on. There you go, that's pretty good. So you can get either like a full photo rig, you can get a full video rig, you can get a mixture, hybrid of both photo and video. Oh, also don't forget, I like to keep some of these like silica gel packets and things like that in all of my cases and bags so that things don't get moldy if it's raining. And I usually like to tuck these down the side somewhere. And I think that's pretty much the perfect setup, to be honest. Anyway, that's everything in and about this box that I can think of before it changes in the next week or two to fit other stuff in it. I think this is, as I said, as close as I've come to the best photography gear box for working professionals. This is, I think that's the whole video. Hopefully you enjoyed, hopefully you found it interesting. I'm going to try and put the links to this box in the description for you, and I will catch you guys in the next one.